When the PlayStation Portal came out, I thought it was a little bit of a weird device, but I also didn't understand all the hate that the internet seemed to give this portable handheld. I understand that as a PlayStation 5 accessory, it was pretty expensive at $200, considering that you had to have an internet connection and you could only use it with your PS5 to stream from there. Not to mention, the only way to connect headphones wirelessly is through the proprietary PlayStation Link, which admittedly there are only a handful of headphones and they are pretty expensive. That said, there are still some positives. It's basically a DualSense controller with a large screen in between, and despite the complaints about the wireless headphones, you do still have a headphone jack, so at least there's that alternative. But now with the ability to cloud stream, you don't even need a PlayStation 5 to get use out of the PlayStation Portal anymore, and I think that really changes the value proposition of the Portal. Is it still pretty pricey at $200 and not for most handheld users? Yes, but with cloud streaming, this becomes a viable standalone handheld, and while it's not the most extensive library, I do think it becomes an interesting consideration if you're a PlayStation Plus Premium member. Now, could you get a backbone for your phone for $100, or it's often on sale, you can get it as cheap as $60? You absolutely could, but I think what people forget about the backbone is that you need a Backbone Plus subscription, which is around $30 a year. Otherwise, you lose like half of the functionality of the backbone. And at those prices, I'd say just get a clip and a wireless controller like this 8-bit, the one that I have, and you can use it with your laptops or tablets. On top of it, not draining your own phone's battery since it has a built-in battery, and the backbone uses your phone's battery. I'd say for a lot of people, that's a good deal. I'm just going to use up the battery on my phone, but for some people, that's just not convenient, and the PlayStation Portal starts making that a little bit more interesting. Now, right now I am connected to my home's Wi-Fi network, but even connected to like my phone's hotspot, for the vast majority of single player games, even action games like Ghost of Tsushima, I think it works out really well. The performance is about as good as you would expect. Now, sometimes you do get some artifacting in the video feed like you would when you're streaming any 4K video, but I do find it to have a consistent 1080p 60 FPS experience. Now, for more hardcore players, you're definitely going to notice a little bit of the latency, and I wouldn't recommend using this for playing Call of Duty or anything competitive online. That's not to say that you couldn't do it, but you definitely would have to adjust to that extra latency that you get with the input. But in that case, that's also pretty much true of streaming it from your phone and doing cloud gaming in that way. That said, you also do have to consider the cost of PlayStation Plus Premium, which is currently $18 a month or $160 a year. Those complaints I also don't really understand that much, because something like GeForce Now or Game Pass Ultimate to give you the ability to cloud stream remotely are at least $20 a month. Obviously with Game Pass, you also get the ability to download Game One games onto your PC or Xbox, but day one access to Xbox exclusives are typically only available for download to your PC or Xbox, not with their cloud streaming. By no means is the PlayStation Portal perfect, but with cloud streaming, you can take this on the go and get real use out of it, considering that they've also addressed all the issues with connecting to Wi-Fi networks such as at hotels. I still don't think that the PlayStation Portal is for everyone, and it's still a little bit of a pricey accessory for PS5 owners. But at $200 with that cloud streaming, it becomes interesting, especially if you don't want to spend $500, $600, $700 and more for a Steam Deck or an ROG Ally. The value proposition of the Portal is much better now. I had even initially given away the Portal that I used to review it at launch. But when they announced cloud streaming on the Portal, I went and picked it up again, and I've been getting some solid use out of it. Like I said, it's not perfect, even though I do think that there's some more interesting value with this Portal. But if you're someone that still thinks that it's a waste of money, then just don't get it. I'm just saying it's a lot more interesting and enticing with cloud streaming now. Would I prefer something like the PS Vita and for them to bring back this type of handheld gaming? Sure. But for a dedicated device like that, it's not going to be anywhere close to $200, especially considering that the Steam Deck, the ROG Ally, and the other handhelds in the market are going for at least $500. The Switch 2 is allegedly going to be $400, $500 as well, and we know that's going to have the performance of a PS4. I think that's okay, but I think the expectations need to be reset, fair or otherwise, on what the cost of handheld gaming is looking like in the future. If you were on the fence about the Portal before, are you considering it now that they added cloud streaming? If you already have a Portal, are you really getting use out of that cloud streaming? I'm going to be at CES covering some PC gaming tech and just general tech that I'm interested in, so make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.